Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. Happy to be here with you guys once again. Today we're gonna be reviewing or taking a look at September coffee. So Carrie suggested that I try these guys out. I already had them on my wish list. You guys know that September, it's a company that was started by a YouTuber, Kyle Roth. I can't remember his last name right now, but I'm sure you guys, if you're watching me, I'm sure you guys are following him and you guys know all about it. But this is his company. This is his little project. You know, Kyle's been roasting coffee for quite a while. Although the company is new, he has some experience, so I'm expecting big things here. So, without further ado, today we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna get to the other counter, and I don't know, let's just start with this one. We have three different coffees to try out. We'll just start with the first one. I don't remember right now what it is I ordered. I know one of them, it said something about espresso, but I don't remember anything about the tasting notes or anything. I've already had them here for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. This video kind of took me long to get around to. And before I forget, one very important thing is to report back to you guys on this coffee. The Costa Rican coffee from Good Brothers. Man, I misjudged this so badly. I'm gonna put a picture here so you guys could take a look at what I'm talking about. But at first impressions, I thought this coffee was a bit darker than the Mexican Chiapas. And I kind of I adjusted my settings accordingly, right? So I went with a cooler temperature and I went with a little bit coarser grind to kind of get a faster brew time. And it worked totally against me. And you guys saw how I was somewhat uninspired by this coffee, and I said it was perfectly fine. I mean, the flavor was there, it was okay, but just lacking flavor, lacking intensity, let's call it. And you guys know how I'm really getting into that, where I really like a punchier coffee, something that gives you the highs and lows. Now, I can appreciate a nice kind of gentle quality, kind of tea-like as well, so I enjoyed it, but yeah, I'm really liking more when I'm getting those highs and lows and something a bit more punchy. So I just totally misjudged it. From the pictures, you guys could see that they're pretty much the same roast level. But if I was pushed to say which one's lighter, I would say this is even a little bit lighter, although they're roughly the same. So as soon as I brought the temperature up, I think I brewed it as high as 98, so really close to boiling. And I went finer. I was at 65 clicks on the K+, and my brew time was extended. Again, I still use the Steadfast. I'm really loving that brewer. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying it. It's very consistent, very easy to use. I don't know. I'm just really into it. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, on the same brewer, and the timing went all the way up to like 4.5 minutes. As a matter of fact, I've been experimenting with some agitation on the Steadfast, some additional agitation other than just the water pouring. And I think it worked on my favor. I was able to get that coffee where it gives you some real nice highs and lows. I really enjoyed it. How do I say, the taste profile is a little different than the Mexican Chiapas. You could tell the difference. And as soon as I brewed it right and I got a good extraction out of it, you can definitely taste what they are saying, pink lemonade. Okay, I don't know if that's what I would call it, but it's definitely there. You do get a hint of like a lemony flavor, a little bit of citrus in there, and but still sweet. So, they're calling that pink lemonade, so be it. Okay, you still get a little bit of that caramel flavor. So that was still there. As far as the chocolate brownie, I never got that. So I don't know how they came up with that one. I couldn't taste that. But I will say that the coffee was nice and punchy, and I really enjoyed it. So is it better than the Mexican Chiapas? I'm still gonna give the edge to the Mexican Chiapas by a little bit. The citrusy flavor is a little bit different. I will call that one tangerine. You just have to try it. I don't know how else to explain it, but both coffees are excellent. And today we're gonna be taking a look at September. So let's take this one to the other counter. We're gonna do a pour over. Of course, we're gonna pull a shot of espresso. I haven't even started the machine, but I'll turn it on now, and as we make the pour over, everything, it'll come up to temperature. So one thing, we'll guess at the tasting notes and all that good stuff like we always do. First, I have to check the roast level. But you know, today I'm keeping all the lights on because I think that's what messed me up. Definitely, when checking the roast level, we want a lot of light so we could really see what's going on. And so I don't misjudge it again. But this red one, you know, I don't want to read too much. I don't know where they write the tasting notes. There's not much in the back. So yeah, I'm pretty safe in the back here, but I'm sure somewhere in the front, or it could be in this little card, I don't know. And you know, we want to guess at them. So let's take it over to the other counter and do a pour over. All right, so hopefully I got everything set up properly here. Let's open up the bag. Okay, there you see it. Let's open up the bag and take a look at the roast level. Oh, one thing I do want to note right from the get-go, right, is the quality of bags. Man, I got to hand it to them. It's the same like the Good Brothers. And not a lot of people are going the extra mile with this. I would even say that it's probably the same bags. It's just, you know, these are shorter, but they look pretty much the same as the Good Brothers. Again, I don't want to like look at it too much because I don't want to see the tasting notes, but yeah, they have, they should. Yeah, they have the Ziploc just the same way like the Good Brothers. So you get a nice seal and you can keep your beans right in the bag. You're not gonna have any issues. That's what I've been doing with the Good Brothers. And I've had it, you know, we've talked about it. So why get into all that? So let's take a look at the roast level. Again, we gotta have all the lighting on. All right, that's really light. Okay, I don't know if that's the espresso one, but man, that is light. I doubted this is the espresso one from just looking at it, because you guys know when they use the word espresso, a lot of times they just mean it's like darker, at least in my experience. So this is really light. We're gonna for the pour over, let's just go like let's just go to boiling. What's the point, right? So all right, and we're gonna be again on the Steadfast Brewer, and man, I'm really enjoying this thing. So you know, if you guys didn't see my little like kind of review on this little brewer, check it out. It's already on the channel. But you know, we have a magnetic latch here and a little leather cover that makes it look so nice. It feels so good. I don't know. I'm really enjoying this one. So, all right, what else should we talk about? Okay, so water temperature, we'll go to, I don't know, 90, maybe 98. Let's not go all the way to boiling. We'll go to 98. So I'll get the kettle going in a second. Let me start the espresso machine. That takes a little bit longer to heat up. And as far as grind size, you know, this is what worked on the Good Brothers coffee, you know, 65 clicks like I was telling you guys. So I'm just gonna leave it set at 65 clicks, but with really hot water. And maybe, you know, this time let's try again doing a little agitation on the Steadfast. I do want to get like a longer brew time. I want to extend the contact time between the coffee grounds and the hot water to get a real good extraction. I want to get the flavor out, man. I really do. Yeah, we want to get that good extraction and get all the flavor out of this thing. So let me go ahead and clean this up and set things up, get our little sunlight going, and and then we'll do the pour over. All right, so let's get this show on the road. We have the Kalita 102 filters that I showed you guys last time, and we do our little fold. Like so. These are the smaller ones that they recommend to go with the machine, not the ones that I had left over, which I'm still using, by the way. I still got like 100 to go. I'll get it done. I will finish them. Okay, our espresso machine is just coming up to temperature. It's almost there. Let's rinse this out. The kettle is ready, so let's go ahead and warm things up. Okay, I'm just trying to get the filter to stick to the walls of the brewer. Okay, that's pretty good there. Let me show you guys. So you see, when you're getting your brew ready, you want to kind of get your filter to stick to the walls. So you kind of press it in as soon as you get it wet. Okay, I think that was not focused when I did this just now, because I have the focus kind of had it locked on the brewer. It's something new that I just started using. I kind of noticed that I could do. It's a feature that I could use, and it's helpful sometimes, but then it works against you sometimes because I needed to autofocus. I'm not sure if you guys could see that well, but I know there's a few new subscribers on the channel, by the way. There's quite a few new people, and people that are not, they're still getting started in the whole coffee thing. So they have asked me, quite a few, I would say, basic questions, some basic knowledge kind of questions that, perhaps it's new people that are just getting into the whole thing, and they don't know a lot of the lingo, a lot of the wording that you use. So I do plan on, every now and then, I used to do it a whole bunch, but then, most of the people watching are experts. You guys know a heck of a lot more than I do. So, but every now and then I should touch on some of the, more basic kind of aspects of coffee brewing. And I plan to do that. I plan to do that to help out. But now if you have specific questions, I always answer everyone. So if you have specific questions, reach out, let me know. I'll get back with you. Okay, so now that we got the hot water in here, what I like to do is put it into the cup so it starts to warm up my cup. Okay, like so. Now everything's warmed up. Okay, we put that off to the side. We're gonna have to dose out our 20 grams. Oh, that's right. Today I remembered. So we're gonna check retention. I know it's not a thing usually on hand grinders, but on this channel we check retention. People like it. So we're gonna dose right into this little cup. Okay, so 20 grams is what the amount of coffee beans, that's called the dose, okay? And the amount of water that you get out after you brewed it, that's called the yield, okay? So again, just basics that you need to know so you understand coffee videos. So this is my dose amount. My dose amount is gonna be 20 grams. Okay, now how many grams of ground coffee versus how many grams of yield or your water that you got out, that ratio, that's called a ratio, okay? It's the ratio. So on filtered coffee, a very common ratio is 1:15, like what I'm doing here and what I usually do. 20 grams in, 300 grams of water out, okay? So that's the ratio. What else can I say? Okay, let me get this down to 20. One more small one. Okay, we're just over 20. Let's take one out. Okay, so we're right at 20 right there. Right at 20 grams. We'll check in a second what the K Plus gives us today. Let me leave this here for you guys. Okay, by the way, by my handling of the bag, like back and forth and stuff, I see it's called Plumb something. So If that's one of the tasting notes, I'm sorry. I couldn't avoid seeing that, but that's all I know so far. It's a plum something. So, you know, now that's been suggested. So we'll see if that skews my, you know, it could go the wrong way, right? Because it might not have anything to do with plum. Maybe it's just a name or something. And now I'm thinking about that and I get it all wrong. We'll see. All right, so we're right at 20 grams. A hand grinder like this can make you, you know, filter coffee. It's very good for filter coffee. This is the Easy Presso K Plus model. Easy, they spell it with a 1. 1 is E in Chinese, so Easy Presso, okay? But if you look it up, it'll be 1Z Presso on the website. You can buy direct from them. I believe that's how I did it. It worked perfectly. This thing is an absolute beast. I highly recommend it. If you want, I mean, if you just go right into this, you won't regret it because you have a hand grinder probably for life that is just like super well made and just it's awesome. It's very fast grinder, but by being fast, it takes a little bit more effort to turn the crank. So, you know, you think about that, whether you rather spend a whole bunch more extra time grinding or just get it over with faster, but you have to put a little more effort. Grinding 20 grams on a setting for pour over. So usually I'm somewhere between, you know, like 6 and 8, you know, so that's 60 clicks and you could hear the clicks, you see? So that's between 60 and 80 clicks on the K Plus. It's very well suited for pour overs. That's where most of the time I'm at. And it takes about, I don't know, 20 to 30 seconds to grind this for these type of settings. But this grinder also can make you great espresso. You can use it for espresso. Yes. As we learned, you can use it for Turkish. I don't recommend it. It took 8 minutes to grind for Turkish. But that video is already on the channel. You can check it out. All right, we had a couple fighters there. Let's see. At the end, you kind of tap it. Usually people do it with their hand, but I have the, oh. Am I gonna leave that in? Am I gonna? You know, that's what I was trying to explain, that if you tap it with your hand, it could pop out of place and then you have a little mess. So let's see how I fix this. Let me pause the video, try to fix this. Oh man. Oh, we'll see. You know, if you don't see this in real time on the video, then, you know, maybe you'll get this as a little bonus at the end of the video, which sometimes I put these little bloopers. Man, I was trying to avoid that. But usually what I do is just tap it like on the counter or on the rag or something, because sometimes there's a bean that hasn't gone all the way through and you want to finish grinding. So, and then I tap it on the top. You guys will see maybe next time. Watch the previous video. Let me clean this up, get it ready. I have to reweigh it. Now I don't know about the retention. We could have lost a couple of little flakes. We'll see. All right, we're back. I still haven't cleaned it up, but I do have a game plan now. You guys see the coffees right there, okay? All right, so I kind of gathered it all up with my hands. I'm just gonna scoop it right into the brewer. I think that's the smartest thing to do. And then I'm gonna tear the brewer. At the end, we should have the 20 grams. Now today, obviously, maybe it won't be exactly 20. We're gonna, maybe we lost a couple little flakes. But we'll see. Right now it's at 0. If we lost some, it's not much. That's one of the advantages of having a really nice, smooth counter like this. And people have asked if you know, I've had any problems with any staining or anything as far, because, you know, I'm always brewing coffee up here. Not at all. This thing it just works. You don't have to worry about that. Now, one thing is, I do keep it, I'm always wiping this thing down, and I keep it spotless all the time, so I don't let the coffee sit there for a while. If you did that, I don't know what would happen, but since I'm always cleaning it, everything's always spotless here, then, you know, you don't have any issues at all. All right, I think this will work. Let me try to scoop it into the brewer. I don't think you guys could see that there from this angle, but you're not missing much. You're not missing much. And all right, yeah, I made it work. We could have lost a couple of little flakes, but not much. All right. And now this, I mean, the thing's still loose because I haven't done anything with the shaker. But basically the way this works, let me see, make sure this thing is focused and everything so you guys don't miss any more footage here. Man, I wish I had a cameraman. Okay, so focus should be locked there on the brewer. So everything should be okay. All right, so, but the blind shaker, basically what you do is you lift it a little bit and then you shake it. And the idea is that, you know, your coffee comes out the bottom there. And for espresso, you would think it's like pretty awesome because then you put this over your portafilter and you shake it. And yeah, you could do that. But in my experience, and the only reason I still have it installed is because I want to make a video talking about it. Maybe now that I just talked about it, maybe, maybe this is it. Man, because I want to go back to the other thing. I really don't like it. And I paid extra for this particular one because it had the blind shaker. I thought it was something I was going to enjoy. And the only time I really kind of liked it was when using the mocha pot. Because you guys, I think by now you guys saw the video where my more, how do you call it? Intricate, let's call it intricate. My more intricate workflow on the mocha pot, where I used my little dosing funnel from the Brewing. And then the blind shaker does help because then you could just shake right into the mocha pot and you can make your coffee. Before I used to have to get it with a spoon and it took longer, and you know, it's not as a nice process as doing that. So, but okay, let's see. We're at 19.6. Man, we lost some. Let me shake this. This is what I meant by tapping it. You kind of tap it like this on top. All right, so well, it clicked to 19.7. We're getting closer. And I have a tiny little bit right here that when I went to get the rest out, it fell out right there. So I don't know, with this is gonna take us up to 19.8. I doubt it, there's hardly nothing here. Man, so you know what? I'm not gonna be able to put this at the end of the video because there was just so much happened that I'm gonna have to include my little mishap. All right, so we're at 19.7. We're at 0.3 below. I'm gonna roll with that. I'm not gonna stress myself here. Maybe what we'll do is, nah, who cares? It's just that's not gonna make no difference. Because, you know, now I'm gonna pour 300 grams of water. I could have gone with a little less water. Maybe I'll leave it a few grams less just to kind of have the same ratio is what I mean. That's the thinking. All right, so, well, you guys saw a whole bunch of extra stuff here today. I don't know if it's fun things to watch, but you guys tell me. It's real life, it's what happens. You know, my videos work around my coffee making. I don't set up to like, oh, let's make a video. No, I set up, I'm gonna make coffee. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna film it today. And then I'll do all my little extra steps, you know, but really, you know, I don't think about it so much or anything. It's just the videos have to work around my coffee making, not my coffee making around my videos. That's not how it works. Okay, so I have a feeling today's chit-chatting is gonna have to be kept to a little bit less because now we have an extra like 10 minutes of probably of stuff already here that's been going on. Okay, so I zeroed out my scale. Okay, I'm gonna start the time. Now today I am gonna do a little agitation. I'm gonna do it after my second pour because that's what I've noticed that is when you have everything pretty much already kind of saturated, enough liquid in there where the agitation is worth making. And then I'm gonna do one after my last pour, to kind of flatten things out. That's what the thinking is today. We're at 98 degrees. Hopefully we'll brew this coffee in about 4.5 minutes. Being that it's as light as I saw, I might even want to extend that, but we'll see. We'll try it there. Let's see what happens. Okay, we start the timer, and now we do our first pour. We do a circle pour for 50 grams. All right. Now, usually that first pour doesn't even saturate everything. It doesn't wet all the coffee. It's very little, you know, I see it as very little amount of water for the first pour, but that's what as a matter of fact, that's more than they recommend. They recommend 40. They say 40 and then you do 60. All right, we're at 30 seconds. We do the second pour. Now we go in the middle. That's why I wanted to do my agitation after the second pour, because by the time I do my second pour, now everything's wet in there. And I can do my swirl. Make sure everything's getting extracted well. I have a little bit of coffee here. You know, I see some benefits to my like bigger filter because it gives you a little more room for something like this to happen, and then you can clean it up easier. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you have to look back on the videos. All right, we're at a minute. Let's do our next pour. Again, we go circle. I'm gonna try to clean this up here. Yeah, didn't go too well, but we do what we can. Okay, we're at 150. That's pretty good. Let me show you guys. Okay, I'm pretty sure you could see it there. But you see where there's a little bit of, you know, I couldn't get it cleaned up really well. That happened because when I was kind of pushing the grounds into the filter. And again, this, you know, as a matter of fact, the kind of bigger filters, they kind of sit in there better. I do have to say, although this is the one they recommend. It does, I mean, this one looks nicer. It's the one that fits perfectly, but okay, obviously my timing it's all off now as well. All right, we're gonna go. I lost count of my pouring, but none of that matters. I mean, not too much. Okay, we're at 200. The yield, definitely, that's a big thing. That matters a whole bunch. Okay, I was just resetting my machine because it timed out, and I see that I'm still set at 90 degrees. That's something else I have to fix. I have to put the temperature up to 95 because this is a lighter roast. All right, let's go ahead and do another circle pour. This brings us up to 250 grams of water. So we have one more pour, one more center pour, and that'll bring us up to the 300. I think we're doing good with the timing, although I went slow because I'm explaining and doing all these other things. So I'm not really concentrating on what I gotta do. Now, although it is 6 pours, 50 grams each, and you do circle pour, center pour, and go back and forth until you have your full yield, you know, it's actually really easy doing it. It's not like it's confusing or anything, but when I'm recording and trying to do all these things, it's a little complex. Okay, we're right at 300. I'm gonna give it a nice swirl here. Okay, so that'll flatten everything out. Now, on the Steadfast Brewer, if you read their recommendations, you don't even need to do any agitation. Just the water pouring itself is enough agitation to get everything extracted well. So that's why you do the center pour, the circle pour, center pour, and you go back and forth 6 times. Now, on their recommendations, they say to do, the circle pours are 40 grams, the center pours are 60 grams. That's how they do it. For me to just make it simpler, I do just 50 pours every time, 50 gram pours every time. Okay, I hope this, by me making so many changes, so many things happen here that I hope my review is not affected by, by all of these mishaps. Sorry, September, I'll make it up to you. We have 2 more coffees to try, but we'll see. Maybe it's wonderful. You know, but we're already up to 5 minutes. This has been like really long. Maybe I should have not done so much agitation. Maybe this coffee I have to grind coarser. This is all the things that you learn, and that's what dialing in is called. Okay, when you adjust your water temperature, your grind size, your timing, your yield, you adjust all these factors to get exactly what you want out of that coffee. Every coffee is different, and as a matter of fact, even the same coffee, as time goes, you have to make little tweaks to get the same exact results. Even on a very consistent brewer like this one, which from what I own is the most consistent. This thing gives you, as soon as you have it dialed in and you do the same process, you're gonna get the same results every time. That's not the case on all of my brewers. I use the origami. That's
pretty consistent as well. But I use the tricklet, and man, the tricklet is not consistent at all because channeling, it's an issue with it. It's very hard to like not get some kind of channeling that kind of offsets things and gives you different results. This is, for sure I have to grind coarser, and maybe I won't do any agitation. And you know, again, it's just brand new coffee, I'm experimenting, and now what matters is the flavor. And I hope, as long as it has that nice punchy flavor, man, I'm gonna be happy. So we'll see. We'll see, it's about done. So I'm gonna call it at 6 minutes and let's call it 6 minutes and 45 seconds. It's not there yet, but it's about to get there and it's still dripping a little bit. So we'll call it 6:45. Let me wrap things up here and meet you at the other counter to taste it and to guess at the tasting notes. All right, I figured that I would show you guys the bed of coffee, how it ended. I would say, you know, it is a little bit muddy. It is a little bit muddy. I think this is too fine of a grind for this coffee, and that's why we got that slower brew time. But all in all, what matters is the flavor, but you see a nice flat bed. That's why I've been doing the little swirling, kind of get that little extra extraction at the end. And you know, so far I've been able to make it work that way. So today maybe was a bit too much agitation, but I think this is too fine of a grind for this coffee anyway. So, all right, let's taste it. I set things up. Let's go to the other counter and give it a taste.
All right, I just recorded a clip. I forgot to hit record. Oh my God, the troubles. All right, what can I say? I served the coffee, as you could see. I tried the coffee. Okay, I was pretty blown away with one fact about this coffee. The fact that, you know, I was trying not to read anything on the labels, but this Plumb thing is like very out there. And now we get a call. All right, I'm back. I have never tried to record a video with so much happening, so many things happening. But you know what, September, be glad. So far, everything has worked on your favor, okay? So, like I was saying, when I first tasted this thing, and again, I forgot to hit record on the camera, I missed the whole clip, but I was blown away by how much or how apparent this Plumb thing is in this coffee. Like I said, when I opened the bag, there was, well, I'm saying like I said, but you guys didn't hear me say it, but I already said it. When I first opened the bag, okay, there was no smell. I didn't even mention it, you know. The other day when I opened, which one was it? It slips my mind right now. But I opened a bag and the Kona coffee recently. When I opened the Kona coffee, it blew me away with the smell. Yet after I brewed it, there was hardly nothing there, you know. And that stayed like that. It's not like, you know, I got it wrong or something. I brewed it fine. That coffee is not one of those that I kind of messed up in the beginning, because as a matter of fact, the only time I really misjudged was on the very last video, okay? We usually get in the ballpark. Today, I think I got it spot on, and you guys missed the whole clip. But when I first went like this with the cup, I was like, whoa, I got blown away by this Plumb, like the smell of plums, okay? It's definitely there. Now, I know that I saw it in the bag and that it was suggested. I couldn't avoid it because the Plumb name is like really big on there. I can't read the tasting notes. Even if I look straight at it, I can't read them without my glasses. I can't see what it says there. But I could see this red Plumb thing is huge. So I saw that. So I was expecting that. And yes, it was suggested. But I have to say, man, I am definitely agreeing with that. Okay, that Plumb smell is definitely there. Not only that, the flavor, very fruity, very juicy coffee, very smooth, but you get the highs and lows. The acidity level, I will call it mild, but the sweetness level is there. Definitely Plumbs is a very good descriptor of this coffee. I would say that absolutely. I see that Plumb, and maybe it's not even one of the tasting notes. I'm gonna feel so silly, but you know, I'll still stand by it. And I'm saying Plumbs because I eat plums often. So that's one of the fruits I'm very familiar with. So when I smelled this and I tasted it, and I thought, wow, this is definitely a good descriptor for this coffee. Plums is the way to go. It's very juicy, very fruity. I would say definitely not citrusy. At least I don't sense any kind of citrus. No, definitely juicy, a lot. I would say maybe like some kind of plum juice, or but very sweet, okay, very sweet. Wow, September, bravo. A lot of things have happened wrong in this video, but it worked in your favor, okay? I'm very happy with this. Something else that I talked about in that clip that I missed. Because it was long, believe me, and it was not the camera's fault. It was totally my fault. I did not hit record, so I can't blame it on the GoPro. But something else that I mentioned on that clip was as to like how this coffee is, it gives you the highs and lows, but I would say it's still somewhat easy to drink, right? This is where you would progress to, okay? If you're into specialty coffee and you have something like that Kona that was very easy to drink, or like a Gesha, at least the ones that I've tried, they're usually, kind of gentle flavors, kind of like very tea-like and not very peaky, and very easy to get into, smooth, just not a lot of highs and lows. You get into something like this, takes you to the next level, okay? And that's where like something like the Ritual Coffee was, and the Side Glass, and a lot of the good ones that we've had, that's where they're at. And then you get those like maybe fermented coffees, like that Costa Rican that I absolutely love, and that goes to the next level, at least for me. Maybe some people is like, wait, this is too much, but for me, that puts it right at the top. The highs and lows are very amplified, okay, let's call it that. You get acidity, you get sweetness, a lot of depth of flavor, a lot of flavor just all together. And that goes to like the last level. Now, up there as well, for example, was the Indonesian coffee. It's way back on the videos. It's the one that I had a lot of trouble dialing in that coffee. It was a lighter roast, but wow, that coffee was a smack in the face. And not in a good way. It was a smack in the face. The acidity was just way too high for me. Just like that Finca Las Flores that Hoon kept brewing recently. That coffee from Good Brothers. If you want to taste something like really punchy and really out there, like it's gonna blow your mind, that's it, okay? But to me, that's not in a good way. It's just like the acidity level is just way too much. It was like biting into a grapefruit. It was not balanced with enough sweetness. The Costa Rican coffee, yes, it has all of that, but it's well balanced with the sweetness, and you get a whole bunch of depth of flavor, not just a strong acidity and a punch in the face, a smack. So yeah, that's the differences. Your coffees tend to be like very citrusy. Sometimes they're fruitier. Sometimes, acidity levels go up and down. The level of sweetness also goes up and down. Now, where it's gonna be that balance that you enjoy, that's what this is all about. That's what makes it fun, So I'm gonna finish this real quick, and then I'll meet you guys at the other counter, and we'll pull let's read the tasting notes. I still don't even know. Maybe Plum has nothing to do with this. Wow, I'll be, how can it not? It's so apparent. Okay, now it has cooled a whole bunch because of all the things that have been happening, and it's not as punchy. Now it's a little bit more, gentle kind of flavor. It lost some of the punch. Yeah, you might identify some other flavors. There's something else there now. When it was hotter, I liked it more. I have to say, I liked it more. I like the punchiness, but now it's a little bit easier to pick out some other notes. Let me try again, see if I can pick anything else out other than I said juicy. There's a lot of juiciness to it, like in plums, definitely plums, and it's juicy. There's a mild acidity, nice level of sweetness. Wow. This is very distinct. I gotta say, I gotta hand it to them. It's very distinct flavor. It's different than, it's different than anything else I've had before, I have to say. It's not as punchy as that Costa Rican that I have frozen. That's still my absolute favorite. But, if there's something to say about this. Definitely fruity, definitely the plums, man, that is so evident. All right, let's read it. Let's see. Where are they? Okay, so, red plum, I guess is what they're calling this particular roast. It's a Colombia. Oh, Diego Bermudez, very famous producer in the coffee game. It says Castillo Thermal Shock. So this does have some kind of processing into it, and so did that Costa Rican from Good Brothers, the one I have frozen. That was the thermical processing. This one says thermal shock. Not sure about how that works, but red plum. All right, but let's see what the tasting notes are, because maybe they have nothing to do with that. Well, on the bag here it says raspberry, red plum, cherry jam. So red plum definitely is there, and that's what I get. Raspberries, maybe, sure, why not? Cherry jam, no. But well, there's a lot of sweetness. They want to attest that jams are usually sweet. Maybe so, I don't know. But definitely the plum. That's what I'm sticking with. Raspberry, red plum, cherry jam. Okay, double fermentation thermal shock. Diego Bermudez. Variety of the coffee is Castillo. You see, Good Brothers, you guys should do something like this, a little card, or I would just just put a sticker in the back of the bag. There's plenty of room, but put a sticker with a little more information. Us coffee geeks, we want to read this stuff. All right, so altitude, look, gives you the altitude. 1960. Is that feet or meters? Not sure. It says MASL, capital letters, MASL. I'm not sure what that means. All right, it says roast, light, yeah, definitely. Region, Cauca. Country, Colombia. Farm, El Paraíso. That's a Diego Bermudez. They tell you how much they paid, all that kind of disclosure, kind of like Onyx. Onyx does that as well. And then a little information. Diego is an absolute genius when it comes to methodology in coffee processing. Rather than using standard anaerobic fermentation tanks, he uses precise bioreactors to ferment the product, measuring everything from the time, temperature, pH, sugar content, and microbial load. Red plum is jammy, and instead of jammy, I would say juicy for sure. I would change jammy to juicy for sure. That's what I'm getting. And reminds us of red fruits. I don't know. What is this thing with the red fruits? Nobody has ever explained that to me. Because when I Googled it, red fruits is just like any fruit that's red. What? There's a bunch of red fruits that are totally different when it comes to flavor. So I don't know. I hope one day somebody explains that to me. Okay, using a pulp fermentation, this is a sweet coffee with medium body. I agree with all of that, but instead of that jam, I would change that to juicy for sure, because you get that juicy plum flavor, definitely fruity, smooth, good sweetness, and mild acidity. Wow, this is wonderful. Very happy with it. I think all the things that happened here today, it worked in its favor. I'm very content with this cup. In a second, I'll meet you guys at the other counter and we'll pull a shot of espresso. All right, obviously it's a different day. So I kept on recording, but I went to pull the espresso shot. Things didn't go very well. It led me to have to try to pull a second shot. And by then I kind of ran out of time. I had too many things planned on that day to keep filming. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to split this video up. Besides, I have so many clips. This is probably so long already by now that I'm gonna have to split this up. So you guys saw me have the coffee as pour over. And you know, in a way, in a sense, I'm kind of glad that I ran out of time and I picked up the camera on a different day right now, because that gave me the opportunity to brew the coffee a couple more times. So I tried it on the origami and I tried it again on the Steadfast, and I have to say that the same kind of thing that happened to me when I tried this one, okay? The Good Brothers, Costa Rica, the one with the thermical fermentation that I have frozen. I vacuum sealed in a bunch of these little packs, and I have it frozen. So I have a bunch of this stuff. And my thought was, one, to try to store coffee in this manner that people say is like the best way to store coffee and it lasts a really long time. So I thought, let's give this a shot. So that way, whenever we have something special, maybe we could do this with it. And then my idea is, my idea is just to keep it and to try it and to kind of have, my favorite coffee to compare with other things. Okay, but now I had another idea as well, because I didn't think I would run into a contender this fast. Okay, so but like I said, that's why I'm kind of glad that I had a couple of days to think about things and to try the coffee a couple more times. Because I have to say that the same that happened with this one, I recorded a second video saying like, wait a minute, I think I was not emphatic enough on talking about this coffee, because this coffee is just tremendous. It's just great. The same kind of thing happened with this one. And I gotta say, this is really, really good, really good. And that's gonna be different for everyone, right? I'm noticing that I'm really, really enjoying these coffees that have some kind of processing, some kind of fermentation, some kind of extra something to them. And like these two, both of these, I didn't know this one had it until I was blown away first by the smell. As soon as you brew this, that you're gonna go drink it, you're like, whoa, usually you don't get like so much, and then the highs and lows hit you, the acidity, the sweetness level, the depth of flavor, and I've been able to find a lot more of that on these coffees that are somehow processed. In the case of this one, they called it the thermical fermentation. In the case of this one, they call it thermal shock or something like that. So, so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna take 100 grams of this one. I already portioned it out, and I'm going to 100 grams of that coffee, I'm gonna vacuum seal. I'm gonna store it, and then what I'm gonna do is maybe sometime in January, we'll do a best of, the best coffees of the year of 2023 for me, obviously is for me, whatever I thought was like my favorite. I wish I would have stored a couple other ones because I've had some really good coffees this year, but unfortunately I just had this idea just now. So, and I didn't think I would find a contender for this one. So quickly, I thought eventually, but this is a contender. So I'm gonna freeze 100 grams of this. And if I only have these two at the end of the year or in January, then so be it. It'll be, a head-to-head between these two coffees and see what I got to say then. By then, this one would have been frozen already for months, and this one too. So, they'll be frozen. We'll get to open these bags and try it and see if all the flavor that I remember from this coffee is still in there. I imagine so. And we'll compare. So we'll do a best of. And then, beginning next year, I'll go ahead and every time that I find like some kind of something that really blows me away, I'll try to vacuum seal some of it. I've been doing 100 grams. That gives me 5 brews, right? So So yeah, maybe I'll do that moving forward. Next year, every time I have something that really blows me away, I'll vacuum seal some of it, and we'll wait. And then at the end of the year or beginning of the next year, we'll do a best of. And at least for me, again, for me. So man, I'm really enjoying this this whole. Let me read it again. This whole Diego Bermudez Castillo, which is the variety of the coffee, thermal shock, which is the processing method. Diego Bermudez is the producer. It's a Colombian coffee, and wow, I gotta say, super good. I got 2 other September coffees. I wonder what I'm gonna think about the other 2, but we're off to a damn good start. I gotta say that much. So I'm gonna go ahead, store some of that away, and we'll compare it. I'm sorry that we'll have to postpone the espresso for the next video. We'll catch up next week and continue with that next week. Obviously, I'm gonna keep recording now. So I'll go ahead and record the end of next week's video now. I'll go ahead and try again with the espresso, keep dialing in, and hopefully I get the perfect shot so I can try it as espresso. Because the first attempt, well, you guys will see, it was a no-go. Man, I had a lot of fun. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with this coffee. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys here today. And, I'll catch up with you guys next week. Please give the video. Oh, one more thing. For you, by the time you guys see this video, it happened weeks ago. But just this morning, I had a conversation with one of the subscribers below in the comments. So, and you guys know, that's what I'm here for. I am here for the engagement between us. That's what makes it worth it to me to film these videos. I make nothing from YouTube. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. That's what we're striving for. So join us here, please. You'll be helping us out. But that's what I do it because I enjoy it. And especially the engagement between us, right? So, but somebody reached out and told me that their Lelite Bianca came from factory set with the temperature brew offset at a plus 44. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Well, first of all, like I said, I have to record another video. Okay, I just haven't gone around to it, and I have a feeling it's not gonna happen for like at least a couple of months because I have so much coffee and so many other reviews I gotta do before getting into all that I don't know. And if I have more time, I would do 2 weeks of video. I'm sorry, I would do 2 videos per week. But I just can't. I don't have the time for it. Maybe one day I'll have enough time to do 2 videos per week. But yeah, I was like, well, what's the point of having it at a plus 44? I doubted that the temperature can build for more than a couple of degrees, 2-3 degrees or something like that. And I mean to do a video where I'm gonna take a thermometer and take measurements of, brewing it without doing the temperature offset, and then take the temperature offset as high as it goes, brew again, and take the temperature and see how much difference. I doubt it's gonna be more than a couple degrees. It's just, a shot lasts like 30 seconds. No matter what the machine is doing, unless it has some way of, it just with the boiler, it's just not gonna happen. It will need to heat up the water throughout, coming out. Just from the thermal mass on the group head, there's just no way. First of all, you're having loss. I explain all of this. I'm not getting into all of this now. Watch the video about the whole temperature brew offset and the LCC and all that stuff where I talk about it. In theory, all of that sounds great, but I doubted that in practice, the machine is gonna be able to make that much of a difference. When it comes down to bringing the temperature down, I have a feeling maybe nothing will happen. Or maybe 1 degree, if at that, or something like that. And when it comes to like trying to build more temperature, maybe a couple degrees or something. I don't know. That's why I plan on doing the experiment. So join us here for more experiments on the Lelite Bianca. Oh, the gentleman also was telling me about, you can automate the pre-infusion, the length of it, how hot the water's gonna go, and you can do a bunch of things, that you can set it in the LCC and have it automated. But I was explaining that, part of the fun is doing it manually. I like doing it manually. So that's why I never even try to program anything or try to learn it. Neither did I plan on doing it ever because I like doing the manual process. But you know, if there's enough people interested in it, maybe we'll have some experiments later on down the line where we do some of the programming and see how that goes. I mean, I don't know anything about that because again, I never intended on using it that way. I always wanted to do the manual pressure profiling, and now that I know about the temperature offset, maybe you can play with that and try to do some kind of temperature profiling as well. But yeah, thank you for your comments. I really appreciated the conversation we had below in the comments today. For you, now, if you joined the channel and you see this video, this happened weeks ago. But anyway, guys, thank you for hanging out with me once again. I'm gonna go ahead and record right now the end to the espresso part of this, which you will see next week. But thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys next week.